I moved to Oklahoma and we had an uncle, in Norman, and he's like, why don't you guys come over and you can just explore at a community college and just think about what you want to do with your life. So, spring of 2010, I enrolled at Oklahoma City Community College as an undecided major. And for the next 2 years, I was exploring several classes. Most notable classroom would be my public speaking class. Professor Julie Korf. She knew I had a gift in public speaking, but I made a B in that class. And she still nominated me for the outstanding, and I received that outstanding achievement in speech emphasis, but I made a B in that class because she told me, Akash, you can still improve. There's still several things you could do to improve. Then I had Professor Anita Williams. I took her business class where she has a focus on international business, which is such a big thing today in the age of globalization, how to deal with people and how to successfully negotiate with people worldwide. And she was one of the professors, pioneering professors and advocate of international understanding. Dr. Donna Marie Joma, she was my literature professor, and she knew I was a struggling student in her classroom because English, again, was a language that I learned just 2 years after coming to the United States. So even today, I struggle with English, and oftentimes when I'm teaching in maybe a public school setting or at the college, students have to correct me, and then one student will laugh at the other and be like, hey, don't correct him, he's a foreigner, But hey, I've got to be corrected. So Dr. J was one of them who was very patient with me, and she told me, Akash, you can do it. And had it not been for her today, I would not be able to speak the English that I'm able to speak today with me. My journey began right here at Oklahoma City Community College. Had it not been for getting lost and finding myself right here in this college and finding that, hey, I do have a gift and I think I can deal with people and make them happy and empower people and bring joy to their lives, had it not been for that experience that I had with my fellow students, because all of them thought I had this energy and spark and would bring joy to their classrooms. And that's when I realized, what if I tried teaching? I might really enjoy it. OCCC gave me that opportunity to meet an advisor from USAO in Chickasha right here on this campus. And they recruited me and they were like, we need teachers and we need teachers in these areas. And I was like, I like all these areas and I think I can work with people. And I can teach math, I can teach Spanish, I can teach ESL. I ended up studying at USAO and graduating with my bachelor's at USAO and then my master's at UCO. While I was at USAO, a small rural community in Chickasha, Oklahoma, I would always stand out. Being the brown man I am, I was the only brown man to graduate from my college, so I often joke about it. But I would run into cowboys and I would run into people from out of the country, and they were so friendly that we would often strike a conversation. And most of the times people would ask me, so Patel, you're from India, I bet you can see elephants in the streets in India. And I'll be like, yeah, you sure can, depends on how much you've been drinking. I would just joke about it. It was just like, I had stereotypes of Oklahoma. Oklahomans have stereotypes of me. When I first came here, I looked outside the Will Rogers Airport, I was like, where are the cowboys and where are the TVs? So when I was in Chickasha, I saw people had a lot of stereotypes. And I had an opportunity to observe and student teach in very small rural communities. I had students from Rush Springs. I had students from Ninica. In these communities, people had never seen someone like me. And especially someone like me who had traveled to over 30 countries and brought these experiences from these 30 countries to their classrooms. And then what I did is I started recruiting my friends from social media to come and visit my classrooms virtually using Skype and Google Hangout. Now, little did I realize that what I was doing in my student teaching experiences would turn into a foundation now that has been used by hundreds of schools from across the state of Oklahoma. So I took my experiences of traveling around the world, I took my experiences of working with elephants, working with sea turtles in Costa Rica, and shared it with these children. Then I was like, wow, I think I can share this with the entire state. I traveled from the Panhandle to southern Oklahoma to communities that I can't even pronounce the towns, like Durant and So I traveled to these communities to teach children about different countries and different cultures in interdisciplinary settings. So I was teaching them different disciplines in a standards-based setting, along with teaching them about the world. And a year later, I realized that now I think I can turn this into a nonprofit. I turned it into a nonprofit, and now we have 6 programs at the nonprofit. One of them is a multicultural resource center where both teachers pre-K through 12 and professors at the university can access hundreds of multicultural lessons. Or we have an International Day program where students from OCCC, UCO, OU that are from other countries, and they're scholars and they're individuals pursuing professional degrees and careers. We bus them to small rural communities and inner city schools, and they spend an entire day teaching about the globe to these children. So these are children who have never traveled, and some of them, I'll have to say this, that some of them may not have the opportunities to travel in the future, but we as educators have that power to bring that globe to the classroom. So we do that using the International Day program, and our most popular program is the Global Connect program, which in real time connects people right here in the state of Oklahoma with people and professionals worldwide. We have a database of over 1,000 speakers, where if a teacher from the Panhandle wants to connect with a scientist in Antarctica, they just have to write them an email and be like, hey, let's schedule a time to speak, and they'll talk to them on Skype or Google Hangout, thanks to the connections at our foundation. Last year I traveled to 13 countries, again with the same mission to connect these countries with Oklahoma and Texas. And I spoke at the European Flip Learning Congress. I spoke at Konkane University at the Southeast Asian Summit, again for global education. So with the same idea, and now I spoke at a TED conference that has literally opened the world of opportunities of, speaking opportunities nationally or locally, because people around the country are now interested in what we do at the World Experiences Foundation. Just last week, President Bush Sr.'s organization, Points of Light, and Neil Bush, his son, who's the chair of Points of Light, honored our foundation and honored me for our work. So it was all over Twitter, social media, Facebook, shared over 1,000 times. I started this foundation because I saw a gap in global education. And I saw that gap not being met by any agency. Yes, that gap is being met on college campuses, but what about the communities that are in dire need of that gap being filled? So I saw the gap and I filled it. And I think we are so blessed to have partnered with institutions like OCCC, UCO, OU to bring in hundreds of volunteers each year into the schools and communities to teach Oklahomans and engage them about the world, while at the same time Oklahomans engage these international folks about the great freedoms we enjoy right here in the United States.
Please welcome 2017 OCCC Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Akash Patel.
Well, you know what? At first, Randy and I were like, why don't we just send your twin brother up there and let's see if anybody recognizes. We've tried that before, but except for in this instance, I've got to speak, So we didn't try that today, but he's around somewhere, and we were going to try to do that, but no. Well, so when I was a kid, again, I longed to travel like my wealthy and rich peers. When I first came to the United States in 2009, I spoke very limited English, and I longed for that opportunity to lead. Many a times I did not get that opportunity because I was not yet an American. Many a times, in a couple instances, a student organization, I did not get an opportunity because maybe I was too fobby for them or too fresh off the boat. And then I had to learn, English, assimilate, and be, polish some of my skills before I get that leadership opportunity. So I always longed for that opportunity to lead when I came to the United States. And today, I see thousands of children from the Panhandle down to southern Oklahoma traveling to countries worldwide using our Global Connect program. So we've got students right here in the heart of Oklahoma City taking a field trip to the Yellowstone National Park live and for free. Or they're going to Antarctica and the scientists are taking selfies with penguins. Or they're traveling to Bhutan where they're learning about GDH, or gross domestic happiness. Guys, we need GDH in Oklahoma. So kids are now, traveling to all these places, and at the same time, in the last 2 years, we recruited and worked with over half a dozen board members that were under 30 years of age from all backgrounds and all nationalities and all around the globe. And these people hosted our 2016 and 2017 Global Citizen Awards Gala in downtown Oklahoma City, bringing in over 500 global citizens and diplomats to Oklahoma City. So I love investing in young people. I love investing in creating opportunities for them that I did not have when I was younger, like the opportunity to travel or maybe the opportunity to lead. And none of this would have been possible without the unwavering and unflagging support of my instructors, many of whom are in this room, starting with Dr. Payton and President Seacrest, who couldn't join us tonight, to Professor Julie Korf and Dr. Jay, and I see Professor Pitchup, who I worked with to host a couple of United Nations conferences right here in Oklahoma City Community College. And I hope I didn't miss anyone else right there, Professor Chuck Oates. I see Professor Chuck Oates and Julia. Thank you so much for your very thoughtful nomination. I want to conclude my remarks with the two pillars on which the World Experiences Foundation was founded: multiculturalism, and the other one was multilingualism. People ask me all the time, Patel, why do all these global things? Why do all these multicultural things? A lot of people associate the word multiculturalism with a bad thing. In my opinion, it is the greatest word that ever existed. Multiculturalism helps Americans, both children and adults alike, to dispel their stereotypes about other people and to treat everyone the same. Regardless of where we come from, who we are, and what language we speak, we are still the same. And this is what multiculturalism can do, and at the same time, it's teaching Americans to be grateful for what they have in these great United States of America. It's teaching them to empathize with the problems of people across the oceans. And at the same time, it's teaching them to be appreciative of all the great freedoms they enjoy here in America. And multilingualism, because I believe we should all be able to speak English, but wouldn't it be great if our nation, everybody spoke more than one language? I spoke at the European Flip Learning Congress last year, and I met children that spoke 5 languages. It would be good for national security. Multilingualism, because look at the United States Army. They post year after year foreign language deficiency, and they recruit people worldwide from other countries. Why not train our own teachers to teach our own students to learn those languages and recruit right here in the United States?